Just a couple of questions, Mr. Chairman, which have no planning relevance at all. Look at those maps. How will they ever get into their rear garden again? And where will they store their waste bins? Looking at the overall design.
There is at the rear of the proposed extension on the ground floor, there is actually default doors, so there would be access through the ground floor from the house. Through the house. So yes, from within the house onto the garden via these doors.
Is there access in the rear of the garage?
Yes. Yeah.
So if you were bringing bins through, you'd take them in the back garden through the back door and out through the garage.
Thank you, Chairman. The Deputy mentioned this 45-degree cone. Could we get some elaboration on that, please?
Yes, we do use 45-degree code. However, in this case, because of the distance between the extension and deprecate number 15, it's over 7.5 meters. The code is not applicable. It would be more if we wanted to use 45-degree code for every application, for every extension, then both extensions would breach at some point the line. So in our design SPD, we do have the requirements for 6 meters separation distance between extensions and neighboring properties.
Just a question. Mr. Donoghue mentioned the cladding, and that seems to be a problem with some of the local people that I can read.
Yes, the cladding would be on the first floor. The ground floor.
I understood that bit. What I'm trying to get hold of is, I think you mentioned that it would match the garage door. So we're not talking about some light colour, we're talking about dark grey to match the garage door. Yeah.
To match the garage door and the existing front door within the property.
Okay, yeah, I'll get that. Okay. Councillor Price?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this is one, from my point of view, I think it's total overdevelopment. I think it's totally wrong. I think when we look at, we dealt with earlier on a tree preservation order, the street scene and being able to see the trees and what have you. Now, if that extension went ahead, I accept in the officer's report, it talks about there's no arboriculturist grounds for refusal. But if you filled that gap in, the dark green tree, not the one that's obviously in the winter times with no leaves on it, is that most of that would be hidden. And in my opinion, that really affects the street scene in taking that, filling that gap in. So, to me, it is a total change of what is a character area of development by filling that gap. Personally, I would not support it. I think that under CS17, which is the grounds which the high quality design, which the officer uses as what we have to consider, personally, I don't think it complies. I think that with the tree effect, with the design, the building, filling that gap in that way, to me, it is totally and utterly wrong.
Thank you. Through you, Chairman, just a couple of questions I'll let, and one may not be necessary in the answer to the first one. This is retaining 4 bedrooms, but one of them is going to be a rather large bedroom 1. If any other occupiers subsequently wish to put a stud wall across that and make it 2 bedrooms, do they need planning permission for that?
They wouldn't need planning permission for any internal changes.
They wouldn't. So in which case, if it moved to 5 bedrooms, would an extra parking space be required?
Well, it wouldn't. Well, if it was, no, actually it wouldn't, because it's 4 bedroom, so it would be 3 car parking spaces for 5 bedrooms.
Yeah,
it would be the same requirement.
Thank you.
Councillor Davis?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised on that. We only require 2 parking spaces for a 4-bed house. 3, surely, yes. 4 in the park, yes, okay. I agree with Councillor Price about the loss of spaciousness in the outlook by filling part of that gap in between the house and the garage. I know the one objector does talk about business being run from the home. Obviously we can't comment on that, but it's a point to bear in mind. But certainly I would think, looking at that picture now, you've got a close-up, Loretta? So it's no close-up picture of that.
No, there will be one closer actually.
That one, hold that one. Right, so the gap basically is between the house and the garage, isn't it?
Yes.
So all that we can see of the green beyond the garage, in fact, will be filled in by the extension. Yes? Yes, okay.
Just to pick up on some of the points made in the interpretations. I think it was stated that the roof line was not going to be lower for the extension than the main roof line, but I'd assumed that the extension roof line would be lower than the main roof line. Is that correct?
The roof line of the extension is the same as the roof line of this projection here.
Yes.
And the reason for that is that this property has got this projection. It's not a flat frontage. It's got this projection, and the extension will link with the existing garage. So by having another drop in reach, in my opinion, the appearance of the entire structure would look overly complicated.
That's right.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just following up on Councillor Price's point, I would agree the resulting building here is going to be extremely large if you're standing in front of it visually. But I think in terms of who would see it and who might object to it, the numbers are minimised because of the location of the basic building itself, the rear of a very small cul-de-sac. I think we saw from the photos at the beginning of the officer's presentation, very few properties would actually stand and look at it and see it. So, although it is large, and in other circumstances you may well object to it, it's just a long stretch of properties. I think in this case it is exceptional.
I think it's been fairly well resolved. I actually don't see a problem with it. Subservient is when it's normally we're talking about something that's parallel and the house is there and the roof then drops down to make it subservient. In this case, it really is, because it's only that piece that fits back in the main roof is higher. So the subservience is there, albeit it's just continued on from that extension bit that's on there. I don't have a problem with this one. Councillor Price?
Just a quick clarification, Chairman. If we're about to propose a decision, can we clarify if we're accepting the recommendation that the materials used for the frontage would be subject to some kind of discussion or coming back to the officer to agree, so that the materials can be assessed and taken care of by the discussion?
I'm struggling to wonder what we need to clarify. I asked what cladding was, dark grey. The bottom, the applicant's agent said was going to be brick to match the existing houses. Presumably the roof is the only thing we might be slightly different, I don't know. But if you want a condition, then by all means, I think that's a good idea.
I think in the interpretations, one suggested that they were open to the idea of coming back to the officer and having a discussion amongst the neighbours to try and find something that might work for the
I don't
applicant.
know. Discussion with the neighbours, it would be a discussion between the applicant and the officer.
Mr. Donahoe actually talked about if necessary having natural wood or natural colouring, which I think is what we're saying, which are probably far more acceptable than the dark grey actually. That's what he said.
Like the idea of matching the garage, otherwise we get into rounds of who does what where. Councillor councillor Price.
Mr. Chairman, I mean, it was discussed earlier on this one about where the bins were. It was said it could go through the house or they can go through the garage. I personally think that to make sure that they are not out the front, there needs to be a condition. We normally look at where bins are stored on a lot of planning applications, and I think that we need some sort of condition to make sure that they are kept in the rear rather than just left out the front.
I think the only concern I've got, I'm looking at that picture there, if that's bin day, that's fine, but I wonder what it's like on the day it's not bin day. Do the bins remain out the front already? How do you impose a condition on one house when perhaps all these other people keep the bins outside? I think it's a matter of common sense for people who live there. Start imposing weird conditions like that.
Mr. Chairman, I think the problem comes is that others have access or ways of putting their bins, as I see it, in the back of their garden or wherever. But that one, I don't believe, other than going through the garage or the house, will have that ability. At the moment, they have between the gap. They can put the bin behind the house, they can put it behind the garage. Filling the gap in does not give them a flat area other than going through somewhere to put them. Now, if we're looking at new designs of properties, we very often actually define storage spaces for bins, etc. And I think that because the gap is, I suspect the committee is going to agree to this, from what I hear, although I don't agree with it, I suspect that we need to make sure we don't have bins outside all of the week.
Mr. Donahue, would you like to confirm?
Well, I was just going to say that there's actually a gap on the other side between that and number 15, so there's already an existing access to the rear, the side of the house on the other side.
And is that where the bins are kept?
They will.
That's the plan,
They
yeah.
will.
Right, things to you've done that one today. Right. Members, can I have a proposer and a seconder, please?
Members are going to impose a condition.
The condition
requires the materials to be agreed
yes.
in advance of being built.
We want that? Yes. Right. Proposer and a seconder with that condition. Proposed by Councillor Evans, seconded by Councillor Ford. Those in favour, please show. Okay, in mind. Right, looks like 7.
Yep.
And those against? That's approved.
Incidentally, Chairman, until we get to the next item, Section 93 of the Public Health Act states that you should have your dustbins and refuse bins out there at 6 o'clock in the morning and taken in within 12 hours. Just a little bit.
That's the one we'll give him.
I just
Right.